Hello, everybody. Welcome.
I was into that music right there. It was
I
bobbing
scared
along.
myself starting that because it ended, and then I was like, I'm on the screen. Um, I'm Saffron.
And I'm Sora.
Welcome to the first ever live episode of Strangers in Fiction.
We are so well prepared. Look at us.
Look at that. Jeffrey's there. He's
Silence
ready.
my phone.
We are very, very pleased to announce, introduce our special guest, Ian Salavon, author of Mad Tapestry and upcoming collection Super Powerless. We'll see how this goes. This is very exciting. There's already a lot of people here.
Yay.
That's fun.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. That's very nice.
Oh, thanks for having me. This is awesome. I've been looking forward to it.
Oh, we've been doing little countdowns. It's been very exciting. I'm glad we're all here. I got the date wrong at one point, but that seems to be the theme of what I'm doing lately. But we all made it on the same day, so that's fine.
We're here now.
We are. We're here. We're present. We're in a box. We're voguing, apparently. So let's get into it. Usually we start these episodes with asking what we've been up to lately, but I will ask you, Ian, have you been writing lately?
Yeah. Just for fun, the other day I wrote a foreword to Super Powerless. I probably won't include it, but just kind of, for an exercise. And I went back to working on a book that I've been tooling around with, and so yeah, I write pretty much every single day. So
wow,
nice.
And I almost never stop.
So do you focus on like one thing at a time? I've interviewed before, and I don't remember what you said if I've asked this question before.
Yeah, typically I do. Typically I work on a piece, and especially when it's like short fiction, and I'll have like my focus on it, and I'll write, I don't know, maybe 700 words and be like, no, that's not the right angle I'm looking for. And I don't even know what I'm looking for. Sometimes I don't even know that I have something to say until after I've said it. So, I'll scrap it or build on top of it, and just keep going and get it done that way. So as far as writing goes, I don't really have much like of an outline or anything like that. I just get in front of the screen, and whatever idea, seems to hit me, that's what I'm writing about. Like if I'm, I see a car accident. Okay, well, what about that car accident was interesting? So I'll start writing about it and see what happens. And that's kind of where I go.
Yeah.
Nice. Can relate. Like every time there's some kind of like crisis or catastrophe that happens close to me, I'm like, oh, this is good material. Oh, I'm such a terrible human being, but this is really good material.
Well, I also look for the weird stuff too, like like the woman in a wedding dress that was digging through the trash. Okay, let me write that down because that was interesting, and so just anything weird, anything interesting.
Do you ever stop people that are in tragedy and just give them a tiny interview? Just ask them a little bit how they're feeling, make notes, or is it just from an observational point of view?
I typically don't. I mean, I end up talking to people a lot, but I don't interview people, as far as tell me a little bit about what you're feeling in this. I don't do that.
And they're like, pain. I just hit somebody with my car.
Yeah.
But you have a really good therapist voice. You have a very good therapist voice.
Yeah. Tell me about that. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, you don't have to do that, but you probably could get away with it.
Yeah. I get a lot of information and a lot of cool stuff from where I work and my judo, doing judo. So I get, I meet a lot of interesting people, and hear a lot of really bizarre stories. So So I get a lot of stuff from those two places.
You're a chef, right?
Yeah, I'm a chef at for Ronald McDonald Charities. We provide meals for the families of critically ill and injured children here in Fort Worth. It's the best job I've ever had. It's awesome. I love it. I love the people I work with. It's the kind of work that I've always wanted to do.
That's awesome. Do you find that do you get a chance to actually talk to the people who you cook for?
Oh yeah, my job is extremely front
cool.
facing. Matter of fact, I'm really lucky in that one of the benefits where I work is I get to hang out with the families on a daily basis.
Awesome.
A lot of the people that work there don't get that. They don't get that opportunity. I mean, their jobs are super essential, but they don't get the benefit of, hanging out with families because they're in the office. They're doing office stuff. But yeah, I get to hang out with the families, get invited to their kids' birthday parties. All kinds of neat stuff. Yeah, I'm really involved with the families directly. It's very cool.
Do you ever go to the birthday parties?
Yeah, there was one kid who I got invited to his birthday party, and one of the things he was saying was he really wanted to. He wanted to get back on his bicycle. He was really looking forward to getting back on his bicycle, and we ended up giving him a bicycle helmet. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, it was cool.
That's very cute.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
So one of the main things that we are going to be discussing is your currently available collection, Mad Tapestry. I'm going to very casually show what the e-reader version looks like. Oh, it's glaring. The cover's sick.
The cover is gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
And it doesn't just promise nothing. It's like, when that was a terrible way. That was a terrible sentence. Didn't make any sense. I'm going to start again. We'll pretend this isn't live. Sometimes you get a good. I might just change my name.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Different country. We'll see you later. Jeez Louise. Anyway, not only is the cover amazing, but the contents are as well. Sometimes you get a book that's got a sick as fuck cover, and then you read it and you think,
yeah.
This one's awesome.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm happy with the way it turned out, and so far it's been, pretty well received, and it seems like everybody writes novels for the most part, but I'm kind of neck deep in the world of being a short storyist, so I'm doubling down on that.
I mean, you're very good at it, so
yeah,
that makes sense.
Well, thank you very much.
I personally I prefer short story collections over anything else, because sometimes I have the attention span of something with not very much of an attention.
Goldfish.
Thank you. See, brain's not braining. What was your favorite part about putting this collection together?
Yes, that's a good question.
Thank you, Sora.
I think just seeing it come to completion, seeing it come to seeing it actually, physically come to life. Because I've never published a book before. I've never, written a book. I mean, I've written books, but I've never published them before. So this being my debut, and it was that was a pretty big deal for me, and it remains that. It remains that. So just the act of it, existing, I think was the most, I guess, fun for me. That was the best part.
Jeffrey's currently stealing the show. There's a lot of stuff going on in the chat about Jeffrey.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to get distracted by it because we're trying to talk about your book.
That's all right. I mean, my dog's over around here somewhere. You probably hear him if somebody comes to the front door.
What kind of dogs do you have?
I have he's 50% English setter, 50% German short hair pointer. Yeah, his name's Ash.
Aww. That is a good dog name. Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. Yeah, he's around here somewhere.
If he wants to say hi, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're a dog-friendly show here.
Okay.
My dog is grumpy and laying on the floor and hates being picked up, so I'm not going to do that to her on camera. But yeah, so Sora, what was your favorite story in this collection?
I'm going to stall you for a second because we do have some people asking in the chat, what is the collection called? It is called Mad Tapestry by Ian Salavon. And it is a collection of short stories. It's all pretty genre fiction. We've got a lot of kind of dark fantasy and sci-fi going on in here. And I completely lost my train of thought on that sentence. I have no idea where I was going with it. But
oh, I didn't mean to do that. What collection? The collection we are sharing with you. I clicked on the wrong comment.
By Ian Salavon. It's gorgeous. Look at it. I'm just gonna hold it right here the whole time. I'm just kidding. My arms will get tired.
You're like a model from right?
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so what were my favorites? I thought we were gonna guess which was like each other's favorites. Remember? Yeah. So I think that your favorites were probably Eat, Move, Repeat, the zombie one. That's the first one. It's a really good like sort of warm up and like here's what this is about sort of introduction. What else? And I think you probably liked the Jack and the Beanstalk retelling.
Yes, the magical fruit.
The magical fruit.
You're correct. I don't know if we're allowed to spoil why I found that so entertaining or not, because of my sense of humor, probably. But yeah, that's accurate. I have 4 favorites. I had to write down because my memory is terrible. You guessed 2 of them correctly.
Okay, cool. And the third one, the Supper Club. I think that was probably one of your favorites. Yay!
Oh my
I was
God,
like,
we have to guess yours.
Chef, yes. And I don't know that I could guess the fourth one. So why don't you tell me what it was?
The Dream Thief.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That one was amazing. Yeah.
There is such a good mix of like genres in this, and they all have this. Something that you do very, very well is take something that is regular that people are familiar with and flip it on its head and actually make it interesting. And it never feels forced or like it's for the sake of it for nothing. And that is something that I really appreciate about your work. And yeah, these are all perfect examples of that. So Movie Repeat is a POV flip, which I found incredibly interesting. The Dream Thief is really dark and really sad, and it kind of has a bit of a social commentary on what people have to do in order to keep their kids alive and okay again. Whether or not that was intentional, I don't know. The Last Supper Club felt really aesthetically in my mind reminded me of The Fifth Element, kind of like really grungy, cyberpunky sort of thing. And it was also I could feel all of your experience as a chef in that particular story, and the magical fruit was very funny.
It was very funny.
Very funny. I cried with laughter reading this story, and I had to tell my husband, I had to read it to my husband because I was like, you have to hear this description that made me cry with laughter. Yeah.
Well, out of all those, out of every story in the book, I think I didn't have more fun writing a story than the magical fruit. That was really fun to write. I just kind of put it down and okay, how am I gonna do then? It was really kind of I want to flip a fairy tale on its ear. So I messed around with like, am I going to do Snow White? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do this? And, the idea of eating magic beans hit me hard, and I just kind of went with it. It was kind of what's going to happen, where, you know, where in what scenario would that take place? Would Jack eat the beans rather than, you know, follow the way the story is supposed to go? So I just ran with it. I really enjoyed writing that story a lot.
I enjoyed reading it.
Same.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, I also cracked up laughing, and my husband didn't demand that I read the story to him, but he was like, "What the hell are you laughing about?" Because I was probably disturbing the neighbors, just cackling. It was very funny. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Yeah, the Last Supper Club. It's funny that you mentioned The Fifth Element, because for me it was kind of a more of a throwback to the original Blade Runner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of, you know, kind of a similar kind of a vibe. But yeah, I was looking for less four color, a lot more dark, a lot more, you know, being, and this idea of being caught in between, you know, the two supposed tos. There's two, you know, two things that you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be true to your craft, and you're supposed to help people. So, with, you know, you're caught between two supposed tos. So that's kind of what that story was.
It's great. It was. I very much enjoyed the moral dilemma, and also the joy that I got from reading the descriptions of dealing with ingredients and cooking. Just being an ex-chef, although you never really lose it. I was like, this is excellent, delicious descriptions.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, you picked up on that. Yeah, exactly.
Sora, I need to guess yours.
Yes.
We've already discussed the magical fruit, and I'm certain that's one of your favorites. I think a spoonful of ibuprofen.
I will admit that I did not pay a whole lot of attention to the names. So what was the premise of that one?
Oh, I don't want to spoil it. Can I say what it's based on, Ian?
Well, say a once magical nanny.
Yes, that was one of my favorites. I was like,
excellent.
where the hell are you going with this, Ian? And then I got it, and I was like, wow, what where did that come from? What was the inspiration for that? I'm trying to like formulate this question. What made you give this particular nanny a giant mech suit? Like, what?
That's such a good question.
Why did she do that?
I was actually prompted to write something involving a nanny and road rage in the genre of comedy. So with those three things. So that's where it came from. And it started off as like a, kind of a Mad Max kind of a thing, but I decided to scrap that. I wasn't, that story's been told. I don't want to be, out on the road with, flamethrowers and grenades and all that kind of stuff. I didn't want to write that. I wanted to write something a little bit more relatable, I guess.
There you go.
So.
Yeah. It's very relatable. Somehow, even though I've never been a nanny or like spent a whole lot of time around kids. But I really enjoyed that one because it had to convince me that I was going to have a good time. And then I just did, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't like 100% on board with the premise. And then I just forgot about that almost instantly. It was great.
I enjoyed writing that too. So
you must have had fun writing every single one of these stories because they ooze joy, even if they're really depressing and dark.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them were enjoyable to write, but also, like The Dream Thief was enjoyable to write, but it was difficult, because dealing with some pretty heavy themes and, so that was difficult to write. Last Supper Club was hard to write. Just because it's, both of those are a little more lengthy. And, the threads are a little longer. So and I kind of pride myself on being real punchy. My writing is real punchy. It's kind of clipped. So in those longer pieces, it's harder to make these kind of words more flow like, when you need to, when you want to soften something. So, and that's harder for me to do. So,
do you find that
those two were difficult?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Do you find that if you are having to write something that is a slightly longer form, that you have to adapt the way that you write it? Like, do you have to keep notes somewhere, or is it just that you have to keep pushing yourself a bit longer? I don't know if that makes sense.
I try to really, I try to stay true to my voice, I guess. Like I said, I really like being, punchy and clipped, and I prefer, I guess, punch over polish, So, so when I'm writing something a little longer, I have to keep that in mind, because you can't have just a whole, chapter or a whole story of nothing but haymakers. I mean, you got to have some dancing, if we're talking in boxing terms or in judo terms, you got to be able to move around. You got to be able to, stay agile, and it's, and you can't just sit there and just swing willy-nilly. You have to, you gotta balance it out.
That reminds me, I have been asked, Ian, to ask you, how good are you at punching?
Oh yeah, how good are you at punching?
How good am I at punching?
How good are you at punching?
Like, as long as I have one of those like paper puncher things, I do real well. But I don't know. I don't know. Judo's a grappling art, so we don't punch in judo. We don't hit people. We hit people with the ground.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that.
Nice.
We throw them onto the ground.
You're very good
Like
at throwing
that one
people on the
Lonely
ground.
Island song.
So I don't know. I've been so long since I punched someone. I don't.
We'll have to revisit it if we have you on again.
I don't even punch a clock.
Nice.
We had a live test last week, and we were asked to ask you how hard you can punch or how well you can punch. So we now have that.
Yep.
Yeah. So see if you can guess who asked us to ask you.
Yeah. So there you go, Sarah. I have no clue.
Mystery puncher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exciting.
That's fine. That's fine.
Blake's right. We don't need fists because the ground is harder. Yes.
That's right. That's
exactly.
Right. Yeah.
So what was the hardest story to write in terms of like the theme, or perhaps like getting it finished or making it a well-rounded piece in this particular collection?
One of the hardest ones to write was Jungian theory and galactic conquest, because it's the whole point of it is super ambiguous. It's real. And you probably have noticed that I'll take revelation over resolution when I'm writing any day of the week. I'm not interested in having things, in a neat little bow. I don't like to do that. Closure is not my friend. So, and that's a really good example of that, but that was hard to write because it is ambiguous and it's the exact same character all over the place. Every character is exactly the same. So, how do you write every character exactly the same, but not?
You pulled it off. I was really surprised.
That was really hard to do.
Yeah, I can imagine. It was surprisingly well done, though. Like I can imagine
Oh,
that
thank you.
sort of struggle to differentiate people while also emphasizing their sameness. I can imagine that was really difficult to deal with. So yeah, good job. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Yeah, but that was of this collection is probably the hardest to write.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Jinx.
One of us needs to stop talking. Is it me? I'll just mute myself.
No, don't
Take it
do
away,
that.
Zora.
We're still guessing which ones were my favorites.
There are
'cause I
more.
didn't just
Okay.
have just
How many
two.
more?
Let's see. I think
Sure, I'm
I
talking to some of the
will. I have two more that were
Okay.
my favorites.
Okay. Are any of them ones that are my favorites, or are there others?
No, they're two
Okay.
different ones.
Okay. I'm flicking through.
Okay.
Fairies wear boots.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. When I read that, I was like, Sora's gonna love this one.
Yeah. So punk.
Farm raised.
Yes.
Yeah.
The one with the mermaid.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That one fucked me up for a minute. I was
like, right.
Yeah. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's super dark. Okay, you went there all the way. Cool. What was the inspiration for that? I have to know.
That came from just kind of an idea of, having a mermaid in a pond.
Okay.
That was it. And then I just kind of started writing, and I'm like, this story's been told. I don't know how is this going to be, interesting? How is this going to be something that's, got me in it? So
it's definitely,
that's where I went.
Yeah, you went there. Yeah, that was cool. It's cool.
Yeah, that story was actually performed on Kite and Kai. KiteandKai.com. It's a podcast that she does like supernatural stories and stuff. Linda Gould is her
Let me
name.
see if
She's
I can get
awesome.
the link. I'll put it in
the great. Yeah.
Cool.
KAIDANKAI stories.com.
Neat. I want to check that out.
I'll put it in the chat. Don't you worry.
Sweet.
And then Fairies Wear Boots actually won a mashup contest. There was an open call for a mashup contest, and they were like, one of them was AI and athletics, and another one was putting those two things together, and another one was dragons and subways. And the one that I won was punk and fae.
Okay.
And I won that contest
nice.
with that story. Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I
wasn't exactly a punk rocker, but I'm not against it.
You've got a very punk rocker attitude when it comes to writing. So it's basically the same. Punk can take many forms.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
There you go. I did put a link.
Yeah, I definitely don't. I'm pretty sure I ruffle feathers with some of the things I say and some of the things that I do. It's not on purpose. I promise. It's just, I'm kind of like, I don't just write whatever in the hell you want to write, however in the hell you want to do it, and just. I was watching, matter of fact, I was watching something the other day. I was watching an interview with Willem Dafoe, and they asked him, what advice would you give to people that want to, be an actor? And he said, I don't give advice. Everybody's got to figure it out on their own. And that's exactly how I feel about it. I think I looked at kind of weird when I said I was in a little, like, just a discussion group, and they asked me how I felt about critique, and I said, well, I don't take critique well, and I don't ask for it.
Damn right.
There you go. Okay. There you go.
You know that about yourself, and that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm too delicate to receive critique unless it's kind, which I hope changes, because I am a bit of a fanny when it comes to if it's like, oh, maybe you could change this thing. I hear it's terrible and you're shit and you should stop doing that. So I'm like, I won't share it with anyone, and then I can protect myself.
Yep.
It's not that I don't hear that specifically, but I hear, when someone says, oh, what about this? I hear them saying, this is the way I would do it. I don't want to do it the way you would do it. I want to do it the way I want to do it, so, whether or not that's true, I don't know. That's just my own psychosis. But you know.
No, I think that many artists, maybe even writers in particular, are very territorial of their work like that, just because like writing is something that is critiqued more often with the intention of improving it than other forms of art necessarily. So I think that that's probably a more common, even universal feeling than maybe we like to talk about or think about. But yeah, it's important to be able to take critique and then do what the fuck you want to do with it, you know? Like you don't have to take other people's advice, because I think you're right that anytime somebody says I would, you know, you could do it better this way, what they're really saying is this is how I would do it. And they're not necessarily, stop saying necessarily, Sora. That's just stop.
Oh my god, I was counting.
Okay.
No, but you're so
Yeah.
right, because if I don't know who I had this conversation with. It might have been JD Sanderson. I can't remember exactly who it was. We were talking about taking critique. I think it was him. And you're so right that if somebody was painting something, unless they're in an art class or they're being trained or whatever, nobody's going to come along unless they're a smart ass and be like, I'd have put that streak there, not there.
Because it's finished.
Yeah.
You know, it's a finished painting. They probably like shellacked over it or whatever. The sealant thing that you spray on the canvas. I took a couple of art classes, whatever. So you seal it and then it's done, and then you display it and it's done forever, and you can't like change something about it. But in writing, you know, like you could theoretically go back and edit the book and then republish it, especially if it's self-published. And you know, if you're still drafting it, if you're still editing it, then there's room for improvement. And it's like, yeah, catch my typos, please, but like don't rewrite my plot. I like it the way it is. If I'm sharing it with you, that means I think it's done. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's also, there's also a question of accessibility, because, you know, paintings are only accessible in very specific places, you know, but, you know, writing is everywhere, you know, I mean, you know, it's everybody, damn near pretty much everybody knows how to read, you know, everybody, you know, so it's kind of the same thing. It's interesting because it's kind of the same way with cooking and food. Everybody eats, so everybody feels like they can be a critic of food. Well, that's not always the truth, you know. That's not always a direct translation. So, I mean, you can say what you like, and that's fine. You know, you can't, you know, if you serve something to someone and say they don't like it, well, regardless of how good you are as a chef, that's not, or how bad, that's not your fault. Them not liking something is not your fault. You know,
there's no accounting for taste. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. You know, that's fine. If somebody reads something of mine and says, you know, I just don't really care for this, that's cool. I don't, you know, no big deal. It's you like what you like, you know. But if someone starts making value judgments, well, that's a little different. You know, that's a little different.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
I'd just like to ask, like, if I can borrow your time machine when you're finished with it.
Yep.
That'd be great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where are you traveling to in time?
Also, I mean, I don't know the date. Oh, me? What am I going to go do? I thought you were asking Blake.
No.
Probably right at the beginning of this, so that I can remember what I'm supposed to say.
Okay,
and then say
cool.
it correctly. I'm going to fix it in post. I'm going to go back in time and do it differently. Fitzgerald, we know you're a horror writer. And I feel like you also write to hurt feelings, because lots of the things that you do are very spooky and scary. So I'm going to say that's very on brand for you.
Well, you know, I was thinking of another story in the collection that was that was extremely difficult to write for a different reason. Was Welcome Homeless.
Yeah, that was rough.
It incredibly cynical, super dystopian, and reality adjacent. I mean, that could I really feel like that could be something that would happen tomorrow. So, and that was difficult to write. I used to be a chef at substance abuse center, and working with some of the people there, you hear some of these things about people living on the streets, and I had a lot of exposure to that. So that's where a lot of that came from. A lot of the stuff from Welcome Homeless came from. So
that was one of the stories that reminded me of Black Mirror. Really made me think of Black Mirror, which is one of the best shows.
That's a rough story.
It is rough. It was one of those like, oh fucking hell! I could see that actually happening.
Right.
Which those are the scariest ones. Like you can make up monsters, aliens, and space fights and all that sort of stuff. But the scariest stuff to me as a reader or as a consumer of any media is how possible is it, and for it to be dark and incredibly possible, especially gestures vaguely this time of the time of our lives. That one kind of hit. It didn't hit home. It hit homeless. No, that was terrible. That was supposed to be a pun. And it
no,
work.
it's a good.
I'm gonna skip over that. Forget it.
Well, the story was, the title was a pun. That was the whole. That was the whole point. So
it was rough, and like I was mad for a minute because I thought it was gonna be this guy's like cyberpunk sort of like edge runner origin story where he was gonna like to get revenge on the sort of corporation that screwed him over. And I was really disappointed that didn't happen. Nope. He just goes on with life and it sucks forever. Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very depressing.
Should put a spoiler thing on there.
Content warning, depression.
Yeah, right.
But very well done.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was extremely evocative in that way. Yeah.
Oh, good word.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks. And my wife hates that story.
I can understand why.
Yeah, she's like, oh. Yeah, she's like, it just, yeah.
At least she read it. That's nice.
Oh, yeah. She reads all my stuff, Yeah. Or I make her listen. I guess.
Yes.
You perform.
Here, listen to this story, and then I read it to her.
Does she give you helpful critiques?
Yeah. Actually, there's a story that I wrote. I ended up winning second place in this pretty big contest called Diabolus Ex Machina, and I read it to her, and she was like, something's not right. I think there's something wrong with the way that you're doing the POV. And so I changed it to first person, and it just worked, 100% worked. So there was that. And she was instrumental in helping me get the magical fruit down. Yeah, she was really helpful in getting that down and just kind of capturing, it being funny, and also because I'm a big fan of Patrice O'Neill, the comedian. He's long dead, but one of the things he said was comedy is 50% ha 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 and 50%
yes.
So I think that was what I was aiming for with that. And she really helped me write that down.
Cool. So you will take critique.
Yeah, from a select people that I happen to be married to.
I was just asking. Has to come from a specific source. Yeah. I wasn't trying to catch you out. That was just something I noticed.
Yeah.
I did put the link for that short as well.
Cool.
Oh yeah, cool.
If anybody wanted to give that a read.
That's awesome.
Is there anything else about Mad Tapestry that you wanted to share with the group, Ian, before I mention the name?
It was kind of, this was kind of the original title for this was Of Sight and Sound. That was the original title. And it was kind of my homage to Rod Serling in the Twilight Zone. It was like my my kind of tip of the hat to his influence on my writing, and why I feel like he's one of my biggest influences. Period. He's super awesome writer, and out of like the 150 something episodes of the Twilight Zone, he wrote like 96 of them, and there were like 15, 20 writers. So, I mean, the man was super prolific. He really had a grasp on how to kind of capture this humanity in an extremely unhuman world. So, and I always admired that about him, and Ray Bradbury, and these Philip K. Dick, and all these, the old science fiction war horses that I was into as a kid.
Very cool.
But I really enjoyed writing it. It's really kind of I really wanted to kind of, this was my chance to get myself out there, so to speak. And I know I had, short stories published in different magazines online and in print, and then got some upcoming stuff in anthologies that are going to be coming out soon. So, in the next couple of months. So, I'm excited about that, but I'm excited to have this, and then my next book coming out too. So, really putting my foot in the short storyist, shoe.
Yeah. Very cool. I do. I'm glad that you changed the title. I like Mad Tapestry.
It's perfect.
It describes exactly what's happening. So it's sort of the perfect, I don't know, switch to flip in one's brain for like, here's what you can expect. And people do judge books by their cover. And one more time.
Oh yeah.
One more time.
Oh,
this gorgeous. What is it called? The short story collection.
Yeah, collection, short story collection.
Yeah, by Ian Salavon, Mad Tapestry. You should check it out.
That's me.
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
And it's
got Brit in the chat.
It's fairly short, so it's not a really long commitment.
It's a bargain.
Yeah. How long did I take to finish it?
12 stories.
12 stories. So you can start and stop anytime. And how long did I take to finish it? I think I read it in 2 sittings, and it was like maybe an hour or 2. So not a huge time investment, but it's wildly entertaining. So you should definitely check it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
So,
yes, Vicky, it is a bargain at £24.
So it's £7.24. It's a bargain. You'll say it like that.
Would it be 7 quid?
Yeah.
Is it quid?
Nice.
7 quid. Just over 7 quid. And that includes tax, because in Britain, when they tell you the price of things, that's what it is. It's not this like a pretend number that isn't the correct one where you have to guess what it's going to be. Not that I'm bitter about that in any way, and it still gets me. And what's wild is, I'm going on a tangent, I've got to do it.
Go for it.
What's wild is, in the supermarket now, we're all feeling the pinch. And you look at something and you think, bloody hell, that's expensive. And it's even more expensive when you go to pay for it. Okay, I'm done with that now. Another phrase. Cheap as chips.
Okay.
Because chips are cheap. That's a phrase from England. There you go. And cheap is like not a derogatory thing in England. It's very much like, oh, what a bargain, not that's poor quality. So don't see it as that. Anyway, I'm going to dig myself up out of the hole now and mention your upcoming collection that is coming out on the 22nd of September, Super Powerless.
Yes.
Would you be able to, Ian, give the listeners, watchers, book goblins an overview of what to expect when Super Powerless comes out?
Yeah. Yes, it is an anti-narrative / deconstruction / homage / send up of the superhero genre. It's basically superhero stories for people that love the genre and are tired of it.
Nice. That's probably a lot of people right now.
That's pretty much what it is.
It's coming at a good time, I think.
Yeah. There's 7 short stories and 1 novella.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. And when is that coming out?
That's September
Okay.
22nd.
Can people pre-order it?
It's available for
Sweet.
pre-order now. So yeah, that's awesome.
Will it be paperback as well?
Okay. Yeah, paperback's going to be available
Cool.
on 22nd.
Guess what I'm
also.
buying today?
Yeah.
Is it
Yay, hurrah.
Powerless by Ian Salavon?
That's a very good guess.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, Mike. This was superheroes. That's what got me into reading and writing in the first place was comic books when I was a kid. Just really into the Fantastic Four and the Silver Surfer and Batman and just all the typical superheroes. And so this was kind of my promise to my younger self, I guess. Writing the stories that I always wanted to read, That's what Gendy Tartakovsky, do you know who that is? He's the guy that Samurai Jack and the Clone Wars. He's an animator, Dexter's Laboratory. Anyway, one of the things he said when he made Samurai Jack was, I wanted to make a cartoon that I always wanted to watch when I was a kid. And that's kind of how I feel about these stories. This book, Super Powerless. These are the comic book stories that I always wanted to read when I was a kid. And then when you read them, you realize how much of a fucked up kid I was. No, I'm just kidding.
on reflection, because you let me read it recently. It's so good, people. It sounds cool, and you're thinking that sounds amazing. It meets the expectations, exceeds the expectations. It's really, really good. I'm trying to find a link for people to pre-order if they want to get it. So bear with me a second. But it's very dark. A lot of it's very dark. It's got like a whimsical sort of like at first glance, because the cover's sick as well. Like good covers, good titles, fantastic stories. At first glance, you think, "Oh, cool, superheroes," and then you look at it for a bit longer and you think, that looks a little bit sad. And then you start reading it and you think, whoa, that's quite a lot to deal with. I had to read it in a few sittings because I had to sort of analyze what was going on, especially, and I have a favorite story, and it's Ironhide, Ironheart, which I thought actually was one of the sadder ones. It was very, very, very good. So I'm going to put the link so you can all pre-order it because you need to.
Yeah, that story was, I liked writing that story, but yeah, it's pretty sad. But the whole book is not like that. There's, there are some unexpectedly tender moments in the book. There are some stories that while heavy aren't necessarily so darn dark, Yeah. One of the stories that I really liked writing in that was the Neighborhood Protection League of Superpowered Boys and Girl.
Yes.
Yeah. I really liked writing that story. I like the title too. So, but that's an example of a story that's kind of like, yeah, it's dark, but it's also got some sweetness to it. And,
Oh yeah, it's not sad endings all round.
Yeah, no.
Just to preface.
Yeah. And then it ends. The anchor to it is a novella called Rogue Champions. That's I would say more of a short novel. It's like 42,000 words, so more of a short novel than a novella. But that kind of anchors the whole thing out. And I think that story, more than any other story in the book, kind of encapsulates, the way I feel about the superhero genre and how it should relate to people in the times that we're in, where, actions and morality are not so clear cut. There's just so many different ways to look at different things, and what what somebody might think is unethical. They may not have a choice. You know, they may not have a choice in the way that they behave, and that's also one of the themes of what I write too. Is I try to think about, you know, people operating inside of these systems where, you know, they don't have a choice. You know, like most of us, we don't have a choice the way that we behave inside of a system. I mean, yeah, I feel for the environment, and I you know, I secretly hope that, you know, one day gas gets so expensive that I can't drive. But in the meantime, I still got to get to work. You know, in the meantime, I got to get to the grocery store. So I'm just as complicit in using my car as everyone else. And what are we supposed to do? You know, I mean, you know, we just give up everything and, you know, live in a cave, and we can't do that. So, you know, then it becomes, well, there's a certain amount of bravery in acting in a system that you know is not, you're never going to escape. It's not going to get better, but you still have to go on. Yeah, that's that's the theme to the way I write. You know, people that are forced into these situations that they don't have any control over. And when you give them superpowers, it really seems bleak. You know? but it's bleak with personality. So
I love that. Bleak with personality. That's like your whole brand.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love that. Yeah. Very cool.
Just dipping into the chat for a second. Genre described as misery with a kiss. I like that.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, one of the tagline for this book that I've been using is "Power ain't perfect."
Oh, that's good.
Love it.
That's good.
Yeah, that's nice.
Awesome.
Snappy. And I was just laughing about how we can't exactly choose to go live in caves and give up everything. And the fact is that we're just not likely to do that because it's much more comfortable to not do that. I want
a toilet. I want, you know, I want hot water, you know, I want, you know, clean clothes. I want more than one pair of shoes. You know, I mean, you know, we're not asking for a lot, but if you're asking for that, you know, you have to do it inside of the system in which you live. So, you know, you gotta somehow figure out how to navigate that. You got to figure out how to navigate that psychologically for yourself and with other people in your life. And, you know, that's just the futility of humanity.
Futility of humanity. Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, it's depressing and horrible.
It doesn't have to be a bad thing.
Right,
you know,
right,
it doesn't have to be this horrible, crushing weight. You know, yes, just because you participate in it doesn't mean that you praise it. That doesn't necessarily mean that you like everything about it. So, there you go.
Sarah.
Yeah, I know.
Don't talk about my cave like that. Sorry.
She does have a nice cave.
I mean, you know, if you like your cave, I'm not judging. You go live in your caves, people, but goblins. I have no problem with that. I don't personally want to live in a cave, and I don't know very many people who want to live in caves. So I will be more careful with my language about it in the future. Thank you, Sarah.
Don't cave shame her.
No cave shaming. Okay.
I am a little bit curious, slightly going off the topic, about Richard's Penguin anthology.
Yes.
Do
you care to elaborate on that?
Yeah, if you want to elaborate, please drop that in the chat. I'm curious. What are they doing? Are they going on adventures? Is it a horror story? I need to know that. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. That is half the problem. Because you know, if you take up some random cave, it's going to be someone else's. You're going to walk into someone's cave by accident. And then can you imagine how embarrassing it would be to get kicked out of a cave? Honestly, that's
right.
Embarrassment stops me from doing a lot of things. That the way I phrase that isn't going to help me in this scenario. I was going to say, the thought of crashing my car, I don't drive at the moment, worries me because of the embarrassment of then having to deal with the aftermath of car crash. And that would also stop me from taking up residence in a cave, I think. Above the spooky things and the not having access to running water and things, it would probably be, what if I get caught? And then what do I say? First one.
Well,
I don't know.
Exactly,
I can't answer
that's
that.
the problem.
I mean,
I don't think anyone's
hopefully it's somebody else's fault and you don't have to say shit.
Exactly.
You know? If you get into an accident with someone and they're the one that ran the red light and everybody's not hurt, and you can just, let somebody, they can, everybody saw what happened.
Yeah, or walk around the back of the car and go,
God,
what happened here? Pretend you're like someone else.
Yeah.
You weren't involved, despite the cuts on your face. Another good question. Do the penguins live in caves? Is this all going full circle? We don't know. Stay tuned. Cave penguins. Oh, goodness gracious.
Okay.
Penguins live out in the open, from what I understand. I'm not a penguin expert.
I think you're right.
They don't, they don't have a lot of, I don't think one of their, I guess their strength is that they kind of gather together, right?
Create a flesh cave.
I mean, I watch Surf's Up. I know how to do it. I watched Happy Feet. I know.
Oh my God. Okay.
I'm pretty sure Surf's Up was a documentary.
Well, I mean, a documentary on penguins or a documentary on surfing?
Yes.
Or both?
Surfing penguins. I will say, even though penguins don't live in caves, probably, what if it is like trying to flip it on its head? And what if penguins did live in caves and it was exploring an alternate reality where penguins... Oh, here we go. We're getting an answer.
And we're all silent while we read.
There's a whole penguin world.
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness.
The storytelling anglerfish is a gem by himself. Okay, hold on. Because the anglerfish, the large anglerfish, the one with the thing that comes down, that's the female.
Oh.
The male anglerfish is about this big and attaches itself to the female, like on the side.
Wow.
So the female anglerfish is the big one with the nasty teeth and
cool
the thing
looking
that comes
one.
out of her forehead.
The one that looks cool. Well, apparently they know how to tell stories, so I love that very much.
Yeah. Cool. Anglerfish.
Penguins. Yeah, actually, Gary Larson, he did one of his cartoons where he had a mosquito that poked it through the skin, and the mosquito had hit an artery, and so the mosquito's like a big balloon like this, and the other mosquito that's there says, hey, pull out, Steve, pull out, or whatever, and then a bunch of scientists wrote to him and said the females are the ones that attack the blood, that draw the blood. So he went back and changed it to Betty or whatever the Francis or whatever the name was. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, he went back and changed it.
I love a bit of accuracy. Random, minute accuracy is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And penguins, I assume this is about the penguins and not about the anglerfish. They live in the open in large groups. Thank you, Vicky. Appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
That's also about mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes live in groups
around. They seem to live in large groups on my front porch. That's
and attached to my feet. I'm like a buffet for them.
Yeah.
We've had a whole episode about this.
I get chewed up.
Delicious blood. Everyone's delicious, and we all have
Everyone
blood.
is delicious.
Right. I think B positive must be like barbecue to them, because that's what
that's what the B stands for. Barbecue blood.
Yeah.
Barbecue positive.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I'm barbecue positive. It's nearly dinner time.
So do we want to open? Do we want to open chat for questions for you, Ian, before we?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do something else? I don't know.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah.
So if anybody's got any questions for Ian about his writing, about his books, present, upcoming, I will, once they start coming in, I'll put the chat onto the screen. Tim's here.
Hi, Tim.
We've got,
Thanks for joining super late.
We've got
Hello,
Twitter
Tim.
royalty in the room. Hi, Tim. How you doing? Barbecue plus. That's the size of order that I make. Here's a question. Whilst people are thinking about questions to ask you in the chat, Ian, what's your favourite thing to cook?
Ooh.
And by thing, I mean it can be cuisine, it could be a dish. We'll go broad.
Yeah, right. Lately, I've been, and lately within the past, I'd say 4 or 5 years, I've been very strong about supporting just straight ahead American fare. So like fried chicken, mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, that kind of stuff. I think that generally the cuisine of America is disregarded as a world cuisine. I think that I'll take the Pepsi challenge with American cuisine and any cuisine in the world. I think that it's one of the most accessible foods just worldwide. So just because of the level of comfort that it's comfort food. American food is mostly comfort food. So I think that's something that everybody can identify with, and so that's what I enjoy cooking most. But I've cooked traditional Chinese probably more than anything else, either traditional Chinese or traditional Mexican. But an egg is an egg is an egg. The way you cook an egg in the United States is the same way you cook an egg in Japan. Yeah. So it's all about the method, not so much ingredient.
That's cool. Do you get to decide the menus at where you work?
Yeah, nice. I have almost complete autonomy. Just decide whatever in the heck I want to make, which is awesome, and it gives me the opportunity to kind of tailor the menu for whether or not I have volunteers coming in to work with me. Because what'll happen is a volunteer group will make a donation, and then with that donation, I write the menu, I do the shopping, I basically do everything, and then they come in and we cook together. Cool. And I'm kind of like the conductor, and they're the orchestra. Nice. And then we serve it to the families. And I'm responsible for lunch and dinner. So.
That's a good deal, man.
That's really exciting.
Super awesome.
I can see why you love your job so much.
Yeah.
It's great. It really is terrific.
So we are getting some questions in the chat at the moment. Oh, I don't know how to do. It won't scroll. Will it scroll?
Maybe it scrolls automatically.
Maybe. I'll pick some anyway.
Well, Tessa's got a good one.
Yes.
A really just very lofty question there. Do you write in a bittersweet sort of genre because that's your natural style, or is it because writing about living in a broken system lends itself well to darker themes? Like, that's very thought-provoking. Love it. Thank you, Tess.
Yeah, I don't think about writing dark stories. I just end up writing with a theme in mind, and then I try to stick with that theme, because I've always been drawn to the fantastical, what they call the speculative, I've always been drawn to that, horror and science fiction and fantasy. And, my mother, was a huge fan of all that stuff. When I was a kid, Anne McCaffrey and Isaac Asimov and, Piers Anthony and you name it, just all those pillars of the genre. But I don't think about them being dark necessarily. It's just, I'm trying to write something. I'll put it like this. I try to write like I have something to say, but nothing to lose. So I hope that answers your question.
That does. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I like that.
So we've sort of covered this a little bit, but Andrew came in late, so we'll treat it as a brand new question. Where do you get your ideas from?
Ideas, at the risk of sounding like a turd, ideas are kind of easy. They just kind of come, and then I start writing them down, and then I'll go off on a different tangent. I love telling this story because this was the basis for a story that I wrote called The Ninth Life of Weatherford Finch, which is going to be coming out in an anthology, I think in late September, from Cicada Song Press, called Breaking Through the Penumbra. And I wrote this story. I was with my niece, and we were watching Willow. We were watching the movie Willow. She'd never seen it before. And there's the scene where Bavmorda turns the good guys into pigs. She's like, rah, rah, and she turns them all into pigs. And she asked me, and I think she was around 7 or 8 at the time. And she asked me, do you think that the sorceress had to change the guy's DNA to make them pigs?
At 7 years old?
And I said,
that's amazing.
Yeah. And I said, I think that's the only way to do it. I don't think there's any other way to do it. I think she had to do it that way. And so that's that kind of formed the basis for this idea of this guy turning himself into a cat to avoid paying alimony. So that's where that came from.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Love that.
Yeah. So ideas just kind of come, you know. And I just try to pay attention to the weird stuff.
That's very apparent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you listen to music while you write? If so, what kind?
Typically, no. I'm one of those people that's like, if the cat is padding around the house, I'm like, get that cat out of here, So, but sometimes I will, depending on if it's something that I'm really familiar with, and something that's a little more atmospheric. So, Thelonious Monk or Miles Davis, or maybe even like some of the old R&B singers like Coco Taylor or Aretha Franklin or something like that. But typically I don't listen to music when I write.
Why? Is it because is it like me where if there are lyrics, you then type the lyrics by accident?
No, it's just too much of a distraction for me. I'm distracted enough with this stupid thing. And, you got the computer in front of you where you can just, hey, I'm going to go to this place. I know I'm right in the middle of this sentence, but I'm going to go, look up whatever in the hell I want to look up, So, there's enough distraction. I don't need to add to it. If I'm not in the house, if I go to a coffee shop or something, I'll listen to like nature sounds. I'll put on like 8 hours of nature sounds and just listen to water running and birds chirping and that kind of thing.
And I need to try
that's
that.
okay.
I'm gonna write that
but
down.
That's really not music, but
nature sounds.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we have another question. I'm not sure in what context this is. Is any subject off limits? And I don't know if this is any subject of question or any subject that you write about. So we'll start off with are the subjects that you write about, do you have anything that you won't write about?
The answer, I definitely have hard limits. There are things that I won't write about. But in the general sense, does that mean that I think everybody should be off limits? No. So there are no subjects that are off limits. There are subjects that I don't want to write about. There are things that I don't see myself writing in a romance genre. I don't have a problem including romance in what I'm writing, but writing in a romance genre, I don't see myself doing that. As far as subjects go, no, there's nothing that's off limits. There are things that are off limits to me, which I'd rather I'd rather not go into, but in general, no. Anybody can write about anything. I mean, that's kind of the whole point. Somebody needs to write about it.
Absolutely.
You know,
we should rule that, like Rule 34. If it exists, there's porn of it. So we should make a rule. It's like Rule 48 or something. If it exists, somebody should write a book about it.
Is Rule 48 a thing already?
I don't know. I know there's Rule 35, which is if it exists and there is not yet porn of it, someone will make porn of it.
We'll have to choose a different number.
Yeah, there's the rule that somebody is attracted to your ugly ass. Yeah.
I like that rule.
Yeah, somebody out there is attracted to your ugly ass.
I call that you're somebody's cup of tea.
There you go. Yeah.
there. Yes, you're much more diplomatic than I am about that.
You have to be sometimes. Goodbye, Blake. Thank you for joining. And also thank you all. I'm not closing it yet, just in case anyone's got any other questions, but I really appreciate everybody joining us today. This is our first proper live show, first show live with a guest, and first ever Strangers in Fiction with a guest. So yeah, it's been really nice to see people taking taking advantage. What the fuck am I trying to say? Taking part or taking advantage of the fact that there is a chat thing there. But anyway, very pleased that is a thing that exists. Yeah,
great questions, by the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Great questions. We'll just give it a couple more minutes in case. Oh, sorry, you got it wrong. It's Rule 34.
Rule 34, but that's the one where if it exists, there's porn of it. But Rule 35. Or is that Rule 33? And what? Do I not understand the internet anymore?
I don't know if I want to Google it. What does the purple crown by my name mean?
Probably that you're like a top fan and you participate a lot.
Possibly, because you commented a few times. I think that's what happens on YouTube.
I don't know the internet, apparently. I don't know anything. Don't listen to me.
It means you're king of the chat. Congrats. Proud of you.
By yourself.
Oh, good job, Ian. You've done great today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's been awesome. Well, if nobody else has got any questions, Sora has a question. Can you put it in the chat, please?
What?
Can you put it in the chat, please?
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll just type it up and be silent, and we can just have dead air while I type.
Are y'all just trolling me now? Is that what's happening here?
I don't know what's happening.
I don't either.
Okay.
No, Sora does have a question. I'm sorry.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
And now of course, I can't think of how to formulate it. So you are very good at short form storytelling. You said that you have written a novel or novels. Are you, at any point, do you think it will be likely that we will see a novel length story from you? Okay.
Yes.
Sweet.
I feel like you don't do all that work for nothing. You know what I mean? So,
I know what you mean.
Yeah. I'm probably going to go in a different direction, but I have a full length epic fantasy that I wrote. It's about 110,000 words.
Wow.
Tentatively titled Blacktooth.
Okay.
And and so I don't know when that's going to happen, but that's I like it. I'm proud of it. I'd like to see it out there. So
awesome. That's very exciting.
Yeah, that is very exciting. Cool. I mean, I love the chonkers. I like really long books. I like series. I'm really enjoying your short story collection, of course. I mean, I'm enjoying it in that I enjoyed it in the past, and I will probably read it again. I'm not currently right this second enjoying it, but I'm my jam is a very long story. I like them long and thick.
I have two other novels that I wrote that are in the same universe. as Rogue Champions.
Oh, cool.
And with some of the same characters appear. Saffron in Rogue Champions, Templar. There's a story that I wrote that she's the main character, a book that I wrote where she's the main character.
Cool. So, very cool.
Yeah. We have another question in the chat.
We have
from Andrew Campbell.
We've got two from Andrew. Ooh. We'll go with this one first.
Okay.
Ian, are there any authors that are not influences that are... What? Oh, any other authors? Oh my God, can someone else read it, please? I'm really strong.
Okay, so I think what this is actually asking is, are there any other authors that are not influences, but you're just a big fan of them?
But I'm just a big fan.
Oh, thank you.
No. Every author that I'm a fan of is an influence. I would say every author that I've ever read is an influence. I mean, obviously my favorite authors are, the people that I mentioned before, and a lot of the people that are around right now, like Peter Clines and Drew Hayes, and, I just started reading Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I think it's good. Matt Dinneman, Andy Weir. So there's a lot of good writers out there that I really like, but there are also some writers out there that I've read that I didn't care for, but that doesn't mean that, they weren't influential on me. It's like knowing what not to do is just as important as knowing what to do. So, but yeah, so anybody that you read is an influence. And just kind of to piggyback on that, I am a big believer in being DNF, not finishing books. I DNF books all the fucking time. If we do the math, right, I've got at best maybe another 30 years to live. So if we average 1 week, one book a week for the next 30 years, it's only 1,500 or so books. I don't have time to read books that I'm not into. Yeah. Well, I mean, really, I don't have time to read books that I'm not into. So I give it a good solid 30 to 50 pages. And if I'm not into it, and it's not, and again, it's just a preference thing. It's somebody else may love it.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I won't waste my time. I'll always, if I'm reading something for an interview, I'll read the whole thing because I want to get the point of, what the person has read, and I want to talk about the things I actually liked about it. But yeah, if it's a book that I'm reading for leisure and I'm like, this is a tickle in my pickle, I'll shut it. Delete it off my Kindle. Fuck that book.
Yeah.
There was another.
It's not to be not a bad thing. Just
it's the same as a show. If you're watching TV and you weren't enjoying it, you're not going to binge watch the whole season. I mean, you might.
I do that I do that 5 minutes into a show. Now we're not watching the show. Yeah. I do that all the time. So
we have another from Andrew.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
So if you were stuck in a deserted peninsula,
let's see.
What 3 books would you take with you?
Probably one of them would have to be The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Good choice.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the book that kind of drove the truck through the idea of you can write whatever in the hell you want to write. You don't have to. There's no formula or anything. You just write whatever you want to write. So that probably Fahrenheit 451, which that's the one that kind of solidified the social commentary for me. And then my favorite short story collection of all time is Welcome to the Monkey House by Kurt Vonnegut.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good collection. That's the collection that has Harrison Bergeron in it, which is a short story about everybody being forced to be equal. So if like you happen to be really, really smart, they hook a sensor up to your brain and zap you so that you're not so smart all the time. Or if you're really good looking, they do some sort of surgical disfigurement to make you not so good looking so that everyone's equal.
Wow.
I'm going to read that.
That's
yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the Monkey House. It's Kurt Vonnegut,
Yeah.
so it's, you know, he's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, those 3 books, I think. You ask me tomorrow, I'll tell you 3 different books, but for today, I'll take those.
That's fair. Just depends what mood you're in, and that's totally fine.
Yep.
If it's a deserted peninsula, I think I'd be able to find the mainland, wouldn't I? Just keep walking until you find the rest of it.
But if you arrive tired,
unless they've got you walled off, you know, you can't. Like you're you know in the the tip of Florida, and then you go up, and then they've got a wall across Georgia. You can't get in.
So possibly landmines. You might not be able to get past the landmines.
But if they have land sharks,
they are a thing.
That would be even worse. So
that's very true.
Than landmines,
or loan sharks.
I don't know if anybody really knows what a land shark is. So.
Land sharks, loan sharks, land loan sharks, land sharks,
land loan sharks, land card sharks. Just all kinds of sharks everywhere.
It's a terrifying thought. And I will say, Grant, my brain hasn't checked out because it didn't check in, so let's not go there.
Yes,
I left it.
There's a qualifying statement for that.
Left it out there, and I can't stand up because I'm wearing pajama bottoms, and I'm not going to get that on camera.
Wait, you were supposed to wear pants to this thing?
Well, I said that I am, but
okay.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
I can't see any other questions in the chat. Is there anything else that either of you would like to ask or mention, or if there's anything that you want to share with the class, Ian, before we start wrapping it up?
No, I don't know. I think that I just appreciate everybody that's been really open to welcoming me into the writing fold. And I've been writing all my life, and I just recently in the last few years decided I was going to take it seriously enough to try to put myself out there, and it's been great so far. It's been terrific. I'm not really I appreciate if somebody wants to buy my stuff. That's awesome. And I'm not doing this because I'm looking for a paycheck. I'd much rather have an audience than a paycheck. So you won't see me market like super aggressively. I'm just putting myself out there because I feel like I have some stories to share, and I'd like other people to read them. So that's pretty much it.
Marvelous.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Thank you so much for being on the show today. It's been a pleasure. This is the second time.
Oh, no, thank y'all for having me.
This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun.
And thanks for writing Mad Tapestry and sharing it with people.
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback, and I appreciate the reception that y'all have given it, and the platform you've allowed me to share with other people. So it's been terrific.
I'm so glad. Just one last little plug. I'm gonna show the Kindle version again, just in case you missed it at the beginning. I'm not on the correct page, so look at Sora's one because it's prettier. You can get it on. Is it just available on Amazon? Okay.
Yeah.
So you can get it on Kindle Unlimited. So if you do have KU, then you should get it. If you do like physical versions of things, you should get that as well.
Mm-hmm. And then if you want to.
Oh, here we go.
You can put it in the shadow box.
That looks so good.
It's gorgeous.
And put it in your writing room, and you're good to go.
Oh, I might have to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe I should do that with all my books.
Oh my gosh.
That would be really expensive.
No need to paint.
Yeah.
You just have nothing but, books covering yourself there. Thank you, Vicky. That's awesome. I appreciate that.
Oh, there you go.
Yay.
Worth it.
Thank you for spending the $7.24. Pence? Would it be pence? Is that what it is?
Yeah, or P. 24p.
P. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Or
right,
you round it up and go, it's nearly £8. Nearly 8 squids. You say squids? Oh, there you go.
Quid, yeah. Somebody just put quid, yeah.
There
Thank you,
go.
Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel.
Bargain
Yeah.
price. Amazing. Oh, look at this. Oh, this has gone so well. I'm so pleased.
Yay!
Wow. Okay. Terrific.
Yeah, fantastic.
Look at that.
Thank you, Richard.
Amazing. Oh, fantastic. Well, Sora,
Yes.
do you want to take it away?
Where? Where am I taking it? I don't
Just
know.
away.
Away. Away.
Take it
Thank you so
away.
much. Thank you so much for joining us today, Book Goblins. It has been a blast. Thank you to Ian for coming to talk about your work today and other miscellaneous things. So make sure you like and subscribe and hit all the buttons and things. Tell people about stuff, and you know the wow. Okay, it's worse than usual today. Also.
Let me know if you need saving.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay,
I'm
she's got it. She's
like
got it.
You
half
need to
screwing
tag.
it up
There's
on
like
purpose.
you need to tag somebody.
Yeah. So how does the sign off go?
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned
Yeah,
for
stay
more
tuned.
unhinged
Onward and upward.
talk.
Oh, we could salute. I don't know which one. Is there a rude one? I don't want to do it in case.
You do the Benny Hill style salute, right? That.
I
right?
could do a little.
Didn't he do that?
Or the third rock from the sun salute, where you just smack yourself in the face and then do it with your hair. Okay, no. Stay tuned for more unhinged talk about the unreal on the regular.
And that's where I'll fade the music.